Nice to meet you. Hello.
Saw your presentation.
Yeah.
You covered everything.
Oh my God.
You stole the entire show.
Oh my God. Thank you. You have a good day, Ranjan. Nice to meet you. Hi. Hello. Sir. Oh, thank you, sir. Nice. It's just behind us. The objective of this is to see how, as an organization, you all are experiencing of the low-code, no-code. Yeah, and it's playing a critical role. Some of us have already started. Some of us are thinking about to start. So, but we are on the midway of adopting the low-code, no-code. From that perspective, would like to see each one of your perspective of how you are looking at the role of custom applications in the organization and the demand which is coming from the business stakeholders. How are you managing this is something each one of you would like to give your perspective.
Hi. So, I think low code or no code, what the terminology which people are talking about, it's a good thing what Microsoft come up, I always wanted to have something with, create a solution where rather people, business users coming to me, I should give them some platform like do whatever you want to do. This is the data source I have, okay? And you just write down the questions and everything. So obviously not about ChatGPT. There are cases where business comes up with a funny idea on the weekend especially, okay? If you talk to any retailers, retail CIO, they are scared of Fridays. Why? Because they know it some other scheme will come up, some other promo discount will come up, or some information the retail team wants to know so that they can run it for the weekend show. Right. And any retail company, if you ask, they get their maximum sales comes on weekend only. So the requirement also comes on weekend. So we always wanted to have solution where we can, we can give some sort of application or technology which can help business user to do whatever they want to do, to right from getting the information, whether how was my sales, what was the category of sales, what was the reason why sales. That is from the reporting perspective plus analysis perspective. Obviously, they want to have some what-if analysis. Now, what-if analysis, if you ask, I remember back in days when I was working with Rediff.com, we used to write a whole lot of program to do what-if analysis. Then the programmers they were good programmers. They were not business users. Now business users, they have good business users, but they are not a programmer. Now they are two different mindset trying to achieve a same sort of goal, and there will be a lot of to and fro. With low code or no code, what I see now, I personally experience it. If you know your requirement properly, I keep telling business people, if you know your requirement properly, if you know how to talk to the technology thing, you will be able to get the solution properly. That's what my take is. We have created some solution using low-code, no-code, based on our data and Power BI and Flash reporting. My team is able to get the information without waiting for technology. Like I'm sitting here, my team is, half of the team is like working from home, but business not stop. They're working perfectly fine.
Absolutely. Please introduce yourself. And
Yeah. I'm Ranjan Sharma, CIO and Head of Supply Chain for Bestseller India. We have multiple international brands. We are part of a global organization based out of Denmark. So from my perspective, I think what does a CIO look for? A CIO looks for solutions where you can do faster development and faster deployment. You can bring in speed and agility. You should be able to have a larger pool of people who should be able to deliver the solution. Not restricted or dependent upon the service partners or your own tech ecosystem or your people, your own people. Most important in today's world especially, how do you still do all of this without spending too much money? Because that's the key. If you keep spending money, and especially looking at the way how our organization is structured, we've tried for almost so many years, we've tried putting in all the enterprise grade applications, and that is a baseline that is that you have to create. Now what happens is we're not very custom heavy application organization, because our first priority is to look out and see if there is a problem that we have, is there a solution which can solve it? And even if a solution is able to solve about 70, 75%, 80%, we normally go out and look at that solution, deploy that solution rather than building custom solutions. Because we wanted to be always lean and mean and bring in the agility and the speed and the knowledge of the crowd, which is very important. Because if you try to develop and deliver everything, you will do with whatever limited or whatever knowledge or experience that you would have or your organization would have. The other big piece is, while doing all of this, how do you still make it scalable? Because you really don't know where it could start going. It could start growing suddenly, because the moment you start empowering more and more people, they will have hundreds of ideas and hundreds of thoughts. How do you manage that? How do you manage the quality of what is getting delivered out of it? How do you ensure that there is the right models are getting created? So bringing in the governance so that the scalability, the availability is being able to manage. How do you enable collaboration within multiple teams? Because it is not just about tech now. You have multiple organizations within an organization, or teams within an organization. You have a finance function, you have an HR function, supply chain, sales, merchandising, your tech team. All of them might not have everything available. They might be so I completely agree with what Pooraan said. They might be that the business folks might be very, very good with what they need. How to deliver, is it something that they need some guidance, which comes over a period of time once they start building that knowledge, once they start doing this by themselves. So they need those guidance, they need those handholdings. You have to bring in collaborative mindset where you are able to collaborate between multiple teams, and no solution is restricted to a function. Most of our solutions that we create, they will always cater to multiple, they will cut across multiple functions. So how do you bring in multiple functions on the same place, on the same solution, and be able to design it well, which they can all deliver? The other big piece which is important is, as we keep doing whatever we're doing every day, we need to innovate. We always need to keep experimenting. Every day there are hundreds of ideas, hundreds of thoughts. Like Pooraan said, Friday ko hamesha aata hai, bright idea aata hai. How do you deliver that on a Saturday? Now you need to have the capability, you need to have that platform to be able to innovate or to experiment and try out things and say, boss, I have these 30 things here. Maybe I pick up 4 from here and build 2 more and then add it, and then the whole solution is ready. So the capability to be able to innovate and experiment, because that is where the differentiation will be. Otherwise, we will all be doing the same thing and we will all be running the same businesses, which we are not doing today. We all have our own different businesses. We all have our own ways of doing businesses. Maybe the same business line we still run, but still we have differentiation in each of our businesses. How do we keep innovating so that we keep creating differentiators? And believe me, technology can actually become one of the biggest differentiators in the businesses that we are running, because a lot of our businesses are being powered by technology. It is no more just by products or the services that we deliver. It is also being backed by a lot of technology. While doing all of this, let's remember that this is not sitting in an isolation. It has to work with the ecosystem.
Absolutely.
There are so many solutions that we already have. How do you bring all of that together to be able to tie the knot, be able to digitize the processes which are broken processes, be able to automate some of the processes, which is a critical factor, because what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring in efficiency, we are trying to bring in speed, we are trying to bring in agility. And while doing all of this, you have to automate a lot of those mundane processes, or processes where you have a logical flow, or which are repetitive in nature, so that you are able to grow the same people to do better things. And that's where the whole, that's the space where the whole low-code, no-code platform is, where we've been trying to leverage, because that's a space that we feel is an ideal situation where we have one solution which can cater to, because we don't have clarity in terms of what we need today and tomorrow. And hence, bringing in a low-code platform, because that's the important aspect. It's not a solution, it's a platform.
Absolutely.
The platform is the key, and the platform allows you to be able to do a lot more than what you are expecting today, and a lot more than what you might have not even thought of. And that's where the layer actually starts helping you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for your feedback. Your perspective.
Hi,
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Lokesh Wagadre. I'm leading the 𝗂𝗂 IT. And 𝗂𝗂 is an aesthetic beauty business. We have multiple clinics across India. Yeah. On low code and no code, see, the first thing is you would always need a custom app in your ecosystem, but you will always want your app to be part of the larger ecosystem, not working in a silo. For that, you will need a tool which will help you integrate all your applications together. So now that's where the no code, low code comes into the, comes handy. At the same time, you can have 10, 15 of different apps working on a different, use cases, but at the same time, they are bind to a one system. So that your housekeeping, your maintenance become that much less. See, the biggest risk in the business right now with the data security, all this DPDP coming into the picture, you need to have your data privacy in place. If you have one ecosystem which you can monitor at all times, nothing like it. And that's where we are also working towards it. We have multiple custom apps all built on, largely on Power App, and we are using extensively Power BI. See, the idea is to, as Ranjan mentioned, the idea is to create a platform and then allow the users to do kind of a self-service model. We'll create a platform, then we can definitely, it's a change management, it's a big change management. The thing, basically you are now empowering user to create certain set of use cases by themselves, but it's a change management, it will take time. But we are working towards it, and what we want at the end of the day, the basic use cases should be handled by the user itself, because they know the business well. And at the end of the day, they know how they want to create certain pages, certain use cases, certain small applications. So that will the low code, no code will actually help them do that by themselves. And and at the same time, as I mentioned, because of the data privacy, we have ensured that all our applications, integration, everything happens using one tool. So that will allow us to manage our applications better. So that's where we are right now in terms of using the low code. And I think we have a custom mobile app for our internal employees built on low code, no code. We have multiple pages for the customers also, which are built on low code, no code. All these are talking to each other. All the data sits in one place. And we know that what particular page has been filled by what customer and what date at what time. So at the same time, we are enriching our customer data so that the personalization can be enhanced. So we're trying to work on a 360 model that, we should not have anything other than a one system. And even if we are implementing some system, it has to have a direct integration with the core system.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Farhan, sir.
Thank you so much. So, answer to your question, I like your Friday idea. I don't know why ideas comes on Friday. Okay. I think in a real world, I want to compare with one of the example is in our real life, we have blanket, we have, there are applications which are available, which are providing, the groceries and everything. And all of a sudden, the Zepto came. The Zepto, success factor of the Zepto is, it is beating the time. That was a success factor, and now it is, everybody started, whether it is Big Basket or Blinkit, you have everything. The accordance what Zepto came into picture. Similarly, the low code, no code, we have the word of SAP, we have a word of Oracle, all these applications. All of a sudden, the low code, no code come into the picture, which address a specific requirement of a business, certain requirement. And of course, the current stage, if you see, it is a stage of adoption. People are looking a lot of innovations around low code, no code. Adaptability is high. The results which is coming is really satisfying the user. Because what IT does is nothing just to facilitate the business in each and every functions that you have. Of course, on a higher side, we also see what kind of a strategy that want to build up the infrastructure that way to build up all across, which basically, address the business requirement. This low code, of course, the way it is coming up, I think you have just shown, the Gartner has predicted enterprise adoptability of low code, no code is going to be 75% by next
Correct.
4 to 5 years.
Yep.
The current adoption is very fast.
Yep.
I spoken a lot of CIOs. They are very happy, honestly. The way the turnaround time is very fast. Of course, the scalability is very high. Agility, of course, there is no doubt, whatever the platform that we have. And this thing which is very important in India, it's from the very beginning, and it is on our DNA, kitna deti hai. Low code, no code is something which will tell you, boss, this is the product of Maruti. If we have good negotiation power, building up stage by stage in a different function, and business has been addressed, different set of requirement for through low code, no code. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Absolutely. Thank you for every one of you giving this perspective. As Pooraan sir was talking about, the dynamics of retail is very fast. Coping up with that change and making it happening is something not that every time we can do it on our own, and we need to have be of collaborative and empower everyone, right? And then to Ranjan sir, you spoke very aptly about there are more ideas, but how do we build the capability in the organization? That skilling is one of the important area. So one of the things which one of our other customers, when they want to adopt across the bank as a whole of 1,20,000 employees, they did multiple hackathon programs, right? So objective is to, one, create awareness to the business that something very rudimentary, small things, you can do it on your own, try to learn, right? And that's something which is constantly required from the top to bottom. And also creating this pool of skills inside, so that the dependency is not that for every small change request also we have to depend on partners, right? If something, can we do it? Can the business do it on top of the application which I have given? A small request that you want to enhance or create a small add-on application, do it on yourself. That is something which we are taking it up. And then the ecosystem, right? It is not about developing an apps at the end of the day. That's one of the constant focus Microsoft has been doing it in building it. If you look at about 4 or 5 quarters back, we were talking about 600 plus, 700 plus connectors. Today we are talking about 1,400 connectors. Where it's coming from? It's all coming from the customers who are asking for these connectors. I don't see this here. Do you intend to develop? Yes, it will be in your roadmap. Down the line, about 3 months, we created. So that solves, right? At the same time, as Lokesh was talking about this data security part of it, which is very important, right? So it's not that, one side we say that we are enabling everyone in the organization as a citizen developer. You go and now develop an application, go and automate things. What about the data security, right? So that's one of the control that what we would like to bring it into the CIO organization is, we allow you to develop, but the application, publishing that application is something that is with the IT governance team and the CISO team, right? So you can't publish the applications without the approval, and that during that approval is what we will check what data you're accessing, who are all the people. And fundamentally, when the Azure Active Directory becomes the gateway, there we have defined the DLP policies. That becomes that, super empowerment, and though nobody can violate that. So that way we could, the second is, when we enable, it's also different departments. We have HR, we have finance, and then we have sales and service, right? So that's where, if you look at it, if you can create multiple environments, answer is yes, right? You can create, and the data can be only for them. And there can be of a super business admin who will be owner for that environment. That is something we have thought through part of it. And absolutely, as Farhan sir, you said, it's actually helping to innovate the business, right? Fundamentally, we are all to enable the business users, right? So with that, I would like to see if Rahul Sharma sir, if you can, sorry, Rahul sir is not here. And Pooraan sir, the non-technical employees to participate in the development of the process, right? So what do you think that what's the way forward of empowering this non-technical people? And what sort of applications that you would like to see that they can do it, so that we can park those requests with them, that you do it, right?
So if you ask me, my personal experience, I've seen a lot of the new set of guys who are joining the organization, the guys who are educated, they are tech savvy, and are they eager to find something, in corporate office where I said, 50% of my staff, they want to do the things by themselves, Why? The primary is like, if I have to ask somebody, that somebody will show me attitude. That's a human nature, okay? Yeah. Like, he's come to me, he's asking the data. So the new generation is like, okay, I don't want to see anybody's attitude. I want to do it myself, okay? They are looking from organization perspective to help them to build a solution from themselves, okay? Now, as you rightly said, the governance, one of my peers has also said about data security, and all the publishing right has to be there with the CISO and CIO. So what I see is like CIOs are going to become, the role of CIOs also changing from solutioning to security. That is something which we are doing on an everyday basis. Coming back to the training and everything, we have to first understand who are the target users, okay? In retail, typically, if you see, people are not that educated at the bottom line, but at the same time, there are people who would like to know more and everything. There are people who would like to take the initiative, Identifying those people is very important. Especially as a CIO, I may not be able to identify the resources in the HR or finance or any other department. That's where the CIOs work very closely with other CXOs and understand what are their departmental requirements, who are the key players in their department who would require a training or who require some technical support. As CIOs, our role is to give them enough information and support and training for their department, which will eventually help my company only. It's going to help my department. So CIO's role is not limited to its own department. The CIO's role has also increased. They have to see what other departments are looking for, what they are asking for, whether there is a talent available. If they can solve the problems, empower them. What I've seen when we have did one of the exercise like this, and we've seen there are a lot of people from the finance and HR and retail have come up and solved some certain problems which could have taken a traditional development would have taken 2-3 months, but these guys have worked together and solved in months or weeks time. So it's all about how do you take care of your organization, how to take care of the talent you already have. You don't have to worry about, you don't have to bring some outsider talent. Obviously you require a trainer to train them how to use the solutions, because unless you know what is to be asked from technology, you'll not get the solution.
Absolutely.
It's always jargon in, jargon out.
Absolutely, absolutely. With that, I would like to understand from Ranjan sir, how do you see the role of AI in the automation tools and app development? What's your view on that?
I think AI is one of the most abused word today, I think, honestly speaking. We without even understanding the impact of what AI is doing and how AI is doing, and a lot of the things that we call AI, most of them are AI, ML models actually, which have existed for ages, and we've been using those models for time and again. So I think what's critical for any of these solutions and that we do is, how do we bring in the models which are predictive models, which could churn out some data in a fashion or look at a larger data set and basis that help you to take decisions. What is important is to pass the message in terms of how do you create smaller models which can be embedded into the codes, and they are very, very easy actually today. If you look at a low-code, no-code platforms, embedding a ML model into a process is becoming very easy, because as long as you know what that ML model is supposed to do and why and how, what data set is it using, embed that into your process to be able to deliver a result or to assist the person who is doing that job. Not necessarily you have to do the job of the person. In most of the cases, the AI actually has to assist the person, help him to take those decisions better, give him insights into the entire process so that he is able to use it. Automation is given. We have all been using automation for a long time now, sitting in isolation. If you don't embed automation with your platform, with your low-code, no-code platform, you cannot bring in another automation engine to be able to integrate with it, work with it, because why do you need a lot of these apps on a low-code, no-code? Because most of your enterprise solutions are not able to cater to those needs. That's the precise reason why you have this platform in place, right? There are things which are falling in between. There is a process which is starting in one application, and then there is a manual element which is involved into it, or some decision making which is involved into it, and then the execution again happens into some other solution, application, enterprise application. How do you bring these two together? How do you digitize this entire process so that you bring in speed, agility, and to top it all, there is a data sanctity that you are creating so that you have a referenceable data available for future. That's where, if you are able to embed the whole of this automation, integration is a capability that anyway it has to have. You rightly said, 1400 is what you have created as a capability which you started with 600 to 700, right? That's what it is needed. It is given. You cannot work in isolation because this is sitting right in the center. This is solving problems which could be cutting across different applications, across different functions, and might have multiple data handling needs. You need to embed the large LLM models to be able to make changes into this process, because automation, let's also accept the fact, automation once built is never going to stay for life. It's
Very
constantly
precisely,
changing.
Just to, as exactly talking about, one of the areas we thought through is when the automation is done and the process is going on, we would like the Copilot to come up and say, is there any way further we can optimize it? It pops up. That's where the use cases are coming up. it's not that you have the AI, as you rightly said, it's most abused, but if you allow it to think, on your own use cases. So the way we have embedded is to think through this persona of the organization, from the sales and service and finance.
Yeah, and largely again, if you look at what these LLM models are also helping to do, the LLM models have to actually help. If you have to create as a citizen IT, you also need to understand that these guys don't understand the tech jargons. They don't understand the data models. Yeah. They don't understand many of the things that we have to do. You need a NLP-based, simple language-based ask that they need to put to the LLM models, which will actually guide you through multiple things, and it will automatically start creating or help create a framework for you to be able to build on top of it. Absolutely. So the basics, these LLM models, and that's where the AI is bringing in the power. Because the AI is helping him to build those solutions, and that's the way the citizen IT is taking a precedence, because these people are getting a lot of the support. Otherwise, they would have kept asking for multiple people and running from pillar to post, where other people might not have enough time to be able to solve that, or they might not even have the skills to be able to help them. Because you cannot expect your tech team to keep upgrading every day and with every new technology or everything that they're doing. They are also learning every day. By the time that they learn one thing, that's already obsolete and there's something new which is coming. So they are also constantly upgrading. So how do you create that larger pool? And that's where the whole power of AI is actually needed to be able to solve a lot of those problems in terms of adoption, faster adoption, better understanding of what you need and how you need, or maybe pull out from the ecosystem itself and come back and say, hey, this is something that somebody has done. Maybe this might be relevant to you. This is on a similar line.
Absolutely.
Do you want to tweak it to your need? So if the basic framework is ready, and if 80% of the work is already done, changing that 20% or changing that UI UX is still easier, much faster. You can still embed the UI UX. You might have an UI UX which you might want to embed into it. So I think that's where the whole game of AI and automation is playing a role, to bridge gaps, to make the process more efficient, faster, and be able to work within your entire ecosystem and be able to assist the user, the end user, in being able to do all of this much faster.
Sure. Lokesh, so you already started the journey of low-code, no-code. So where do you see as the next step for you in adopting some of this AI role as a co-pilot within Power Apps?
Oh, okay. So AI, I think we've been already using AI from 2.5 years back. So we, as you know, that we are an aesthetic business, and all our clinics are, there are doctors in each of the clinics. Now, how do you ensure that doctor, use technology to sell more, convert more clients? How will you do that? So we already created an AI app, which, through which you can take a picture of a person. The AI will diagnose the problem, that whether you have a pigmentation, saggy skin, crow feet, fine lines, all those things, and then doctor can show that image to the client, and then they can discuss the line of treatment. And if you choose a certain line of treatment, the AI will also show you the post result of it. So we've been using this for almost 2 years now. However, we are constantly adding more category to it. So you have there are multiple categories, like you have acne, pigmentations, anti-aging. So the categories are a lot more, because it requires a lot of effort, because you need to annotate the actual images, feed into AI, and then retrain it, and constantly training it will give you the better result. Absolutely. So that's one area where we are working on the AI. And on the low-code, no-code front, we have already started working on the Gen AI-based chatbots. So our idea is, right now we also have WhatsApp bot, web bot. We wanted to converge all the bots. So basically having only one ecosystem for WhatsApp bot, web bot. At the same time, we wanted to put our presence on the social media bots also. So be it Facebook Messenger, Insta Messenger, and even the Google Chat. We want to make all this self-service bot, so that our customer can, rather than calling a call center, they can get their query answered on the and on whatever platform they are in. At the same time, they can book an appointment if they want to visit our clinic. So they don't have to wait for a call center to connect. They can do it themselves. So we wanted to create a kind of a self-service bot. At the same time, it will be Gen AI based. So it will also give you a lot of information about the skin concern, latest article, what to do in summers, how to take care of skin in winters. All those information will be available. So that's where we are, doing this one part where we are working. And another on Power BI, we are working on the predictive model. So one of the industry's biggest problem is churn. How will you handle the churn?
Yeah.
So even if you increase your retention by 10%, that will give you like good 5% benefit in your overall revenue. So we are working that what is, how you can ensure that the infant mortality is less. So we have seen in our business, majority of the clients doesn't come after 6 months. So how can I make a difference? Can I create a different sort of journey for them in the initial 6 months, which will, where we might be doing a much more closely communication to them, more hand-holding, so that they continue for more than 6 months, so that our CLTV will increase. So all those finer aspect is associated with that. The idea is to create a predictive model using clustering.
Absolutely. As you rightly said, that's one of the most lucrative and quick as a low-hanging fruit. Every organization would like to do is to empower the chatbot, which is more contextual, and Gen AI, which is directly a business impacting, visible to your external stakeholders, be it customers or partners, and internal stakeholders as employees, right? So that experience is to be very contextual, and it doesn't need for it's no longer people who like to see that I use a chatbot, it throws the 5 options, 10 options, press 1, press 2, press 3, right? And then finally you end up, it's not helping me, trigger the call to the agent, right? So that's most frustrating that you, after spending a couple of minutes, and you have to still talk to someone. And that person, you end up rephrasing that, what you have been going through and what is. So that's where is the Copilot Studio, especially when I was talking about, is to make it very contextual. It could be across the system and make it as a human agent that it can take the request as well and trigger the request and give it back to the customer. Hey, be happy. Just give us about 4 hours time. This is your service ticket. You don't need to call anyone now, right? So that's the happiest moment. And also the churn, right? And with a sales team or a customer service team when they are servicing, they need to have this predictive model available that, look, this guy has been talking and being with us across different channels. The issue is most burning now. If you don't give him utmost attention, he's going to be away from you, right? So Ferguson, last question from your side, from all the panel members. What do you see the futuristic way of low-code, no-code? Where do you see that impact will be from where we are today and where it will be? The AI is coming in play. Where do you see the business will look at it of low-code, no-code? Today we are looking at from the lens of the CIO perspective. How the business is looking at, and what is that you think that we need to do for the business to start demanding and going on their own?
Right. Thank you, Gomathi. I think you have just mentioned about one of the chatbot which is giving options. User is selecting 1 or 2 and then he is fed up with this. My stand is very clear. Talking digital, it's very easy. But walking with digital it's very hard. Of course, every organization has its own set of application architecture. Driving the digital drive it's not easy game. In today's environment, whether the application is going to be customized application or application can be configured in the existing platform like that we are using for SAP or any ERP, or it is going to be low code, no code, I believe still this decision comes to CIO. That's a decision that we drive. But time is very soon where the executive is also going to talk about the same language. It's very soon. It's not too far, though it is already started. Now, where I'm coming from, the turnaround time of IT is something which is very important. I think if you look at the deployment of current application, in my time, ERP would take around 1 year, right? Now, no business is going to give you the 1 year.
Wait for that.
Not at all.
Absolutely. Yep.
They will say, do it in 4 months or बोरिया बिस्तर मान दो घर जाओ, नहीं चाहिए. We'll see other. So the turnaround time is the reason being we are now living in a very dynamic world. So turnaround time means if you are not going to give them a solution which their business is looking for, whatever solution you come from, they are not going to accept it.
Absolutely.
Today we can address through low code, no code, or having some partner whose turnaround time is faster and all these things. We all CIOs are managing those things. But the current solution, which is low code, no code, I think is the turnaround time is very fast of such application. If you have a platform, fundamental platform in place, of course it will help you to turn around time faster than any other thing, this is my personal experience. But it also tags some, some negative part of it, which you have to deal with it. For example, if there is any specific requirement, of course every business has its own specific requirement. Or this no code, low code is having some limitation on that. It will not address your specific requirement where business is looking for. If it is a fundamental basic requirement, whether it is all function, finance, sales, corporate, market and all, it will address everything. In those areas, of course, there are workaround, we have to do the workaround and all. So those areas have to be very, detail level have to be understand. The business has to be told that this is how we are going to address your requirement. If there is specific, we are going with the alternative solution. Rest of the thing, I think, technology we are selecting, and those guys are the user. At the end of the day, they are the consumer. If they are happy with this, they definitely will use it. If they are not happy, they are not going to use it.
Absolutely.
And bugs comes to SAP, to the team of IT that they are not delivering. To be very honest.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for a nice view on the futuristic. As you all of the view that I could get a conviction even more stronger is that, as it's a business who is coming with more requirements, and the faster turnaround time is, it's like any requirement comes, it was as on last month or as on yesterday. Right? How can you do it today? You talk any requirement, right? It could be mission critical, or it could be business critical, or it could be anything. But meeting that requirement is where the turnaround time is coming faster, and so the business doesn't want to wait, because every competition in every industry is turning around very fast. You roll out one offer today as a TPC, and the next moment, not even in hours, in a few minutes, the competition is rolling out an offer, right? And enabling the team is very important. Not only about we designing the offers or for the customer or designing the product and solutions, but it's about enabling everyone in the organization. So that's where the empowering every users with the low code, no code is coming into play. And I strongly believe with AI coming in, it's truly going to be of enabler and empowerment for the all the business users. With that, let me conclude. Thank you, and thanks for your time. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't give the time to the audience for asking question, but please feel free to let's discuss off the line, as I heard that second bell is coming up.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your valuable insights. Please stay back, and I'll request everyone to please come forward so we can have a group photograph.
Sure.
I'll request 𝗠𝗂𝗎𝗄𝗎 sir to please felicitate all our panelists, starting with Mr. Pooraan Jaiswal from TBZ.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming.
Mr. Ranjan Sharma from Bestseller.
Oh, all right. Absolutely. Thanks for your time.
Mr. Farhan Khan from Allied.
Oh, yeah. All of us, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your time. Nice to talk to you.
And Mr. Lokesh from 𝗂𝗂 Limited.
Oh, all right. Nice meeting you. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much once again. We are now open for a quick networking session. Please have your tea and coffee, and let's reconvene at 12:05. Thank you.